Alright, I just recorded this video and I totally messed up the screen recording last time, so hopefully I don't miss anything. My name's Nathan and I like pole vault, and I'm going to go over just one guy's vault today. It's a kid I've been helping coach a little bit, and I want to go over something I noticed that I think I overlooked. I know some coaches might overlook. And definitely new vaulters might also overlook or might not understand or might have difficulty seeing in their own jump. So let's go over to that. I'll just let you watch it in full speed here, and then you can make sense of it yourself. And obviously not a perfect vault, but a lot of good components. So let's break it down a little bit. So here we have the takeoff here, and I've kind of drawn on it. Now it's not perfect. Was his run perfect? No. Maybe some plant mechanics are off. But here's, I think, the meat and potatoes, right? You can only go after one thing at a time, and it is the shoulder. Now, the issue here is the shoulder is blocking out, right? And it's not even like he has a big bottom arm or anything, but that shoulder is, the arm is being driven into the shoulder socket, right? And you don't have to be a physicist to see that when I do this, my chest can't come through because it's being pushed on by this. So this doesn't work, right? And I'm going to say that this is the reason he can't invert. I've seen him try to do bubkas. You know, he swings right up on a high bar. So why can't he on the pole? In a better vault, right, you're going to see somebody drive through and make this motion, right? Their chest will come through, and they have all this with their arms to move. If you can see that, right? All that motion. Compared to what he's going to have here is this, right? Essentially. And that's a ton of energy that he's losing out here. Not only that, but we're getting out of position here and we can't focus, right? So when that chest is driven backwards, you can see here, chest is going back, hips are continuing to move because of momentum, and you're just stuck here. You're not going to be able to swing up and get a good vault in. Now, we're going to compare this to bubka, right? Doesn't get too much better than this. So when he takes off here, right, a lot better takeoff foot, but we're not focused on that here. What I want to see is that arm, right? It's going to freely, go above the head. That chest is going to come through, and, he's keeping his hips neutral through that. And when that chest comes through, it's going to do a few things, right? Those arms are going to stretch back, and it's going to create that nice C position, and that leg right now is totally, it's like a bow and arrow, right? It's pulled all the way back, and once you release, like, it's going to punch it. And you can see that, right? His arms shoot forward. The legs start kicking. And you can see in that original video, right? Something I wanted to mention was, I think a lot of coaches, myself included, would say, hey, you're not moving your arms. And you can see when he takes off, no arm movement, right? He's just, like, if you watch that top arm, he's really not putting much into the pole, and then that pole's uncoiling, right? And I'm like, just move your arms, like, let's go, come on. And it doesn't work, right? He's like, oh, it's not working, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's just gonna take some time to figure out, blah, 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 right? But it's because he can't move his arms, right? Because he is blocking out. This isn't freely rotating, chest isn't coming through, and he's not primed to throw those arms forward. And when you throw those arms forward, they're in a position to move forward. It's pretty simple. That leg, now it's got a ton of momentum. It's swinging up, and now you're going to put yourself in the right position, feet above the hips, hips above the shoulders, and now boom, it's really easy. Go upside down. So how are we going to get him to do this? Well, two things. The first thing is we need to get him to feel his chest come through. So I put him on a high bar the other day, and I pushed on his back, and he was able to feel it. Before that, I wanted him to do a drill, and I demonstrated first even, where you hang on the high bar, and you swing your chest in, and you throw yourself out. And, just do it real aggressively, try to get, your arms like parallel, whatever. And he was just doing it kind of goofy. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I just need you to feel this out first. So I put my hand on his back, and I said, just hang. Pushed him through. He was like, oh, okay. And I pushed him through, and I had him push himself back. Pushed him through, and I really had him throw himself back. And he could actually get his chest in and, throw it on the high bar. And that's really important. He was able to feel that a little bit. Now, I think once you've got that, the next step is to, number one, just spam that drill just over and over and over and over again. If you can get that, you're doing a lot better. And then number two, implement that on a wall plant. Get them to plant the pole and get that chest to come through. Feel that on something stationary, right? Not like a step up wall plant, go. But like just pole, wall, push, feel that chest come through. And then once they've got that, you can bring them onto the runway, and instead of sending them to a, 5 left, 10 step kind of thing, like a drill I really like to see happen a lot is that I have done, and I've seen a lot of kids succeed with, is going all the way to 2 steps, 1 left, and so then you can't, use your speed to beat it, right? You can't muscle through it, and it's part of a larger progression, but in this case, it's very relevant, is stack grip. I'm not sure for everybody. I know for a lot of the guys, we do anywhere from like a 12, maybe like a 120 to maybe a 150 for a really like 210-pound kid, and only gripping at maybe 10-3, and they kind of get their grip. So they got to take off, and guess what? You get put into this position. So if you don't move your arms, you don't move the pole, right? We start them at a low grip to where, okay, they bail off to the side or something. But when they really hit this position, they'll learn to move their arms pretty quickly, right? And so if you can and get that chest through. So if you can do that, okay, now let's keep it kind of at that same spot, and don't have their grip too far. I would say, fist to the elbow, maybe an extra thumb, but they don't need to be gripping all the way, as far as their shoulder, because when you have that wider grip, it's so much easier to block out. Your arm's here and not here, right? It's so much easier to just keep that shoulder, punched backwards. And so then, of course, once you've got, you're doing with a regular grip from really, really short, you can go back, you can start implementing it, and then hopefully get your chest through along with those drills. And I think for this kid specifically, getting that chest in, getting that chest through is gonna way better allow him to swing through and get inverted, get on bigger poles, do things better, jump a little bit higher. If you couldn't tell, this is mostly just kind of like ranting. I don't have any script or anything, just kind of going off what I think. For me, it was really helpful to get a video review of myself, or I really liked learning from others, because if you're a new vaulter, new coach, anything like that, you can learn so much from mistakes that you don't see a kid making but are applicable to that same mistake. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, or somebody more qualified than me. I just thought I'd get on here and say this thing I've been thinking about a lot. Thanks.